Don't lose your license, save your license. Do the wise thing. Call Wiseman Lawyers today. 1300-947-352 or go to wisemanlawyers.com.au.
Hi, I'm Andrew Wiseman and welcome back to Wiseman Lawyers Court Ride-Alongs, Gulf of Carpentaria edition.
Does your license need saving? Do the wise thing. Call Wiseman Lawyers. Does your license need saving? Do the wise thing. Call Wiseman Lawyers. Don't face that court alone. Let the Wiseman team get you back on the road. Does your license need saving? Do the wise thing. Call the Wiseman team at Wiseman Lawyers.
Once again, I'm Andrew Wiseman, owner and principal solicitor of Wiseman Lawyers, Queensland's only truly dedicated traffic law firm. As I say in every episode, when I say only truly dedicated traffic law firm, all we do is prevention and minimisation of loss of licence, and the only courts we service are Queensland. But that said, we literally will go everywhere in Queensland. I'm in beautiful Normanton in the Gulf of Carpentaria today. Friday just gone, I was at Mackay. The day before that, Toowoomba, and you'll remember from last episode I was at Cairns the Friday before that. I did say that the next episode would be filmed at Toowoomba, but we're just flat out and I just didn't get time to film anything. On that occasion, I represented two clients. One was charged with .077. He was eligible to apply for a work licence, but given that he wasn't going to lose his lose his job, it wasn't appropriate to apply for a work licence, so I just went in and endeavoured to get the best possible outcome I could, which I did. He was facing a maximum 9 months, and I achieved the mandatory minimum 1 month. The other client blew .156, that's high range. As you'll remember from previous episodes, when you're high range, there is no maximum. The magistrate, if he or she wants to, can give you a lifetime loss of licence. And the mandatory minimum is 6 months, and that's what I achieved for that client. So he got the mandatory minimum 6 months with no other penalty. There was no fine. And I should add, the other client with the .077, I achieved a non-recording of a conviction, so no recorded conviction. All right, the young man who's engaged me today, he's been charged with driving on a demerit point suspended licence. Initially, when he contacted me, he told me that he'd been charged with driving on a spur suspended licence. The difference being, SPUR is an acronym for State Penalties Enforcement Registry. If you forget to pay a fine, SPUR will suspend your licence. The penalty range for being caught driving on a SPUR suspended licence is 1 to 6 months. So when I was initially contacted, my objective was to get the disqualification down to the mandatory minimum 1 month. But when I received the police brief, what had happened was the charging officer charged him with the wrong charge. What he was supposed to have been charged with was driving on a demerit point suspended licence, meaning someone who's run out of points and been given a demerit point suspension, and he was actually caught driving on a demerit point suspension, not a spur suspension. That carries a mandatory 6 month disqualification. And the bottom line is, we ordinarily don't accept jobs where people have been charged with that, because there's no mandatory minimum or maximum. It's a fixed 6 months. So with or without a lawyer, if you're charged with driving on a demerit point suspended licence, you face a mandatory 6 month disqualification, no more, no less. So as I said, ordinarily a lawyer would have no bearing on the disqualification, and all they'd have is an influence on the fine. And by the time you paid the lawyer's fee, the benefit in getting the fine reduced wouldn't be worth the expense of the lawyer. However, given my client's circumstances, he lives in the middle of nowhere, Karumba, which is 70 k's north of Normanton. He's a apprentice electrician, so without a licence he will be on the dole queue. So I just thought it was appropriate for me to try and negotiate with the police. So in layman's terms, plea bargain with the prosecutions. What I've done is I've made a written submission to police prosecutions explaining the situation, explaining the hardship that my client will suffer if he loses his licence, and basically painting a rounded picture of the law, my client's situation, and the discretion that the police have to amend charges where they see fit. I haven't got a response as yet, so me coming here is very much a gamble today. And obviously the negotiations will continue on the steps of court, but I'm confident that they're going to reduce the charge somewhat. I've put two possibilities to the prosecutions to consider. One, that they reinstate the initial charge that my client was erroneously charged with, meaning driving on a suspended licence. That way the mandatory minimum drops down to 1 month as opposed to the 6 months which he currently faces. And the other alternative is I've asked that they consider reducing the charge to what's called unlicensed driving simpliciter. Simpliciter being a fancy Latin term for base level. So I've asked that the charge be reduced to unlicensed driving base level, meaning the same charge someone would receive if they simply forgot to renew their licence. So I've put both of those options to the prosecutions. A big part of me is thinking that either option is wishful thinking, given you know, demerit point suspended driving is a serious offence. It's pretty hard to sort of claim that you didn't know, because you know, everyone's got a vague idea of how many points they've got or don't have, and the mindset of the magistrates and the prosecution is that you should have seen it coming even if you didn't get the notice. So we'll see how we go. I've made pretty firm yet reasonable submissions to police prosecutions. Hopefully one of the alternatives will be taken up by the prosecutor, and hopefully my client will, in a perfect world, receive no disqualification and a fine only, but in a slightly less perfect world, a mandatory minimum 1 month disqualification for the driving while spur suspended charge. Alright, well, I'm pulling up to the courthouse now, so I'll head on in and I'll see you back in the car after court and let you know how we went.
Your license needs saving. Just take your phone up, call the Wiseman Law here, and they can help you out in many ways. Yeah, if your license needs saving, all you gotta do is call the Wiseman Law here.
Nathan of Gladstone writes, I cannot thank Mr. Wiseman and his team enough for the great job they did for me. I was extremely worried when I was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol, as I recorded a high-level breath analysis reading. However, Mr. Wiseman and his team advised me exactly what to do, guided me through the process, and achieved the best result possible for me. I received the minimum applicable mandatory license disqualification, a minimal fine, and no conviction was recorded, all thanks to Mr. Wiseman's advice and well-researched submissions. Mr. Wiseman is a consummate professional and a genuine nice guy. He ticks all the boxes, which helps put you at ease during the stressful court process. I was also impressed with the value for money provided by Wiseman lawyers. The fixed fee is very reasonable and worth every cent. I would happily pay twice as much to secure the results Mr. Wiseman achieved for me.
Don't face that call alone. Let the Wiseman team help you out, yeah. Don't face that call alone. Let the Wiseman team help you out, yeah. And just listen what they say. Let's call them any time of the day, yeah. And they will help you right away. Help you to keep things away.
Job done. Whew. I tell you, it's hot up here. Rightio. Firstly, the police accepted my submission, the better of the two suggestions, meaning they agreed to reduce the charge to unlicensed simpliciter, which you'll remember is the unlicensed base level charge. So yeah, so they reduce it to unlicensed simpliciter. So you'll remember when he first contacted me, he was facing a 1 to 6 month disqualification, and then that was raised to the mandatory 6 months for the charge that he should have been charged with, which was driving on a demerit point suspended licence. the police agreed to reduce that to driving unlicensed simpliciter, so base level, which carries no mandatory disqualification. But that said, the magistrate still has a discretion to give a unlimited disqualification. So the worst case scenario, even with the accepted written submission to the police, was a lifetime loss of licence, no mandatory minimum, and I was able to persuade the magistrate to give him a fine only, and that magistrate decided that a fine of $100 was appropriate. So no loss of licence. The only penalty was a fine of $100, but obviously he will have to pay the $110 offender levy, which the Newman government brought in. So basically he's going to pay about $220 in court fees, no loss of licence, and obviously no loss of job. So it goes without saying he's ecstatic. So yeah, no loss of licence, no loss of job, fine only. He's really, really happy, and yeah, job done. So that's me done in Normanton, in the beautiful Gulf of Carpentaria. I've now got the 6-hour drive ahead of me back to Mount Isa. I would have liked to have flown, but because I was at Mackay on Friday, the airline, I just wasn't able to make the flight, and there's no flights on weekends to most of these remote localities. So yeah, drive back to Mount Isa and get the 6:50 flight back to Brisbane in time for a special hardship order application at Wynnum tomorrow. Thanks once again for watching, and yeah, have a good one. Cheers.
Does your license need saving? Do the wise thing. Call Wiseman Lawyers. Does your license need saving? Do the wise thing. Call the Wiseman team at Wiseman Lawyers.